1 2 1 2. In the place to be on a Tuesday night. Tuesday, a little bit earlier. So this is 9 p.m. scheduled. But I'm going a little bit earlier. Got some things I got to keep my eye on. So let me see if I can't adjust this slate for an updated one. Always good to have your technology working and flowing. I believe I have my other technology situation taken care of. I'll cancel that. And I will bring in it manually. Hopefully it doesn't crash. And then Jay Suggs, how I feel about the Saints and Carr. I think it's a good fit with Mike Thomas coming back. I like Carr. I don't think Carr's a bad quarterback. I think he's decent. So we'll see how them Saints do. Don't take the Saints helmet in the corner the wrong way. They gave me an opportunity, so I'm just showing them some reciprocated love. I have my Saints helmet. It's not my actual helmet. It's a Saints helmet. It's the helmet I put together during the pandemic. We were so bored during the pandemic that I believe my buddy Ray Domingo and I try to recreate our helmets from when we played. And that's where I came up with that. I bought the Saints logo packet on eBay and recreated my Saints helmet, since I did not purchase my helmet when I played for the Saints. So that's how that is. And then the top helmet is Long Beach Poly. You must believe it. Mike Staff in the house. Time is now. If you have not listened to the Time is Now podcast, it was a good one today. No problem, my brother. My sweet brother Umps needs a flyer. He must have the promotional material to create the buzz for his show. I keep trying to tell him, you gotta go video, man. We need to see your locks. And if you're having all these female guests, why not have them on your video show? Why not? All right, man. Today, March Madness. Quick look at it, man. All the busted up brackets. Did you throw yours away? I still got the Bruins going all the way, just because. And they now have a great shot. NFL free agency. A couple of guys I'm going to talk about. Ron, Mike Staff, and Lamar. There should be teams clamoring to get these two guys, but they're not. NBA, Embiid is my MVP if he's not your MVP, and I'll kind of talk about why. The playoff race, it is what it is with 10 games to go. My tender love report, Tank, Garcia. I love Tank, Javonte Davis, but he's on the tender love report. And UNC skipping the NITs on the tender love report. And there's a backflip that they banned years ago. I think it's kind of tender. My 2 cents, I got a whole bunch of them, including Kyrie snubbing the villain, Dylan Brooks. That was hilarious to me. Amongst other my 2 cents, my down my feed 2 cents, and then my sports flicks being it's Oscar season. I'm thinking about some Oscar-worthy sports flicks from 2022. Hustle and Rise. And who do you guys have as your favorite or best athlete turned actor? I thought that would be a cool topic. It's AC Sports Live. Here's my intro, man.
Stop, man. My people been persecuted.
Okie dokie. Jumping right into it. Yeah, Mike, you ain't slick. Mike Staff. I'm doing Mike Staff's media, and everybody he sends me is glamorous. So it's like, Mike, you ain't slick. And Embiid is the MVP. Numbers don't lie. Broadcasters do. And dudes who are homers do. March Madness, I got... I was talking big junk until Marquette got beat. I had Marquette in my Final Four. Bama, Marquette, UCLA, and Houston. So, that's that. But my bracket, I'm using my ESPN Fantasy Pick'em. And my men's and women's. I'm okay with women's. I was going to go with Stanford for the women. Because I'm a big Haley Jones fan. However, they played that rough and tough, scrappy, fast, aggressive team at Ole Miss. And think about it. The dynamic of Mississippi University. And look at their basketball team. Isn't it ironic? Isn't it something to see Mississippi hooping with all those little young sisters hooping? So staying ladies first, my bracket from today's games, I believe UCLA plays South Carolina next for the women's bracket. Love my Bruins, but that's where the buck stops. The buck stops here. Notre Dame, Maryland. Should be a good one. Maryland's always tough. Notre Dame is always tough. Shout out to Skylar Diggins, former Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Ole Miss, Louisville. With the Ole Miss's scrappy style, I think Ole Miss might continue put them things on Louisville. Tennessee, Virginia Tech will be a great one. I'm always going to go with my UConn Huskies. You know, I was born in Connecticut, so I'm going to be a Husky in men's and women's ball. I'm still mad at myself, though, why I did not pick Tom Izzo and the Michigan State Spartans. I always pick Sparty. This year I did my bracket so fast. I try not to put too much emotion, too much personal attachment to my picks this year to see if that would be different. And I still messed up my brackets. But so as females are concerned, I got John Staley, Philly hometown hero, going all the way with her. South Carolina, I think they go undefeated this season. I mean, 31-0 right now. I don't think anybody's going to beat South Carolina. If they are going to go down, I would be so surprised. My men's bracket, man, Fletch, man, we gotta have you on the show, man. You're the funniest dude I know. Period. Hands down. Anybody I know that need to do a 5-minute stand-up, it's Fletch, man. From a UCLA great. Sugg says favorite athlete actor is Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Terry Crews, John Amos, and Jason Statham. I got some graphics. We're gonna break this down. I like your picks, even though The Rock is kind of like, we're kind of like, come on, man. He's saturating it. I got a sleeper pick for you for my favorite. I got a sleeper pick, so we're gonna get to it, Suggs. We're gonna get to it. My sleeper pick comes with music and a theme song. He may not have had the greatest lines in the world, but his presence was undeniable. My men's bracket. All right, so again, my Final Four is jacked up now because Marquette got beat. I picked the Big East champion to make it to the Final Four. I used to have a very, very high esteem for the Big East back in the days when they had Georgetown and St. John's and Syracuse and Villanova, all those teams when they were always good. And this year Marquette came out of nowhere and won the Big East. Old Pat Ewing got fired from Georgetown, thank God, because he was not doing very well at all. Who's your Cinderella? Who's still standing after the number ones got beat out? Purdue was a suspect one, so I'm not very surprised about that. And Kansas, he shut two guys down, and they're very susceptible to getting beat. And as we saw, they got beat. So I'm not really surprised about that, but I am happy that Kansas got beat because now UCLA only needs to beat Arkansas or UConn, and we in the house. Because when you get to the Great Eight or the Elite Eight, it's just one game, and you in the dance, man, the Final Four. Not that the Final Four is the end-all, be-all, but that is the measuring stick. You make the Final Four, you had a successful season. And my Bruins dealing with so many injuries, I think that'll be a great place to be if we can find a way to get to the Final Four. I like our squad. We're playing tough. So like I said, I think I'm with only few that has San Diego State beating Bama. Yeah, you might be the only person in America, except other San Diego State fans. Kawhi Leonard's alma mater, they have a chance. But Bama is loaded with Miller and Quinterly and just a tenacious defense. They have what it takes to win the whole thing. But this ain't football. This is basketball. So Bama is just not going to run through people. If San Diego State comes to play, it is not that far-fetched that they would get beat. Because a team makes it this far, they got players. Nobody at this point in the Sweet 16 cannot play. And I believe, I agree, Princeton is scrappy. At this point, we're seeing the results of one and done, of NIL deals, of G League, of overseas. The teams that we used to love, the Blue Bloods, that we always expect to be here, the Kansases and North Carolinas and Dukes and Kentuckys, they ain't here. The last Blue Blood was UCLA and Indiana. Indiana got beat by Miami. So UCLA is the last Blue Blood. I think you put UConn in there because UConn has had some success over 2 decades of time, maybe 3 decades. So you throw UConn in there as well. But neither one of those teams are picked to be in the dance. So it's a different time. College teams aren't developing as fast as they used to because kids are getting paid. Kids are going to get paid. Kids are going where the money is. They're not going to build a legacy. They're going to build their pocketbooks. So you see like my man Amari Bailey at UCLA, they say he's the king of NIL. With a Porsche deal and other deals, he's making bread. I mean, he's a one and done. He might dip to the NBA this year. But he doesn't have to. His NIL money has him set for a minute. He's set. He's been able to take care of his mom, our good friend, Johanna. And what's the rush now? There's no rush to go to the NBA now, except for maybe just to get, to make sure you're not going to get hurt and mess up the bag. So let me see if this will work. I need this to work. Did I get it to work? Yeah, we trust in this computer. 19, yes. Come on. Work for me. The technology is acting funny style. I really want this to work because I will be able to show graphics in real time. I know it worked earlier. If it does not, I think we'll have to manage. Motown in the house. 6. Washington State's finest in his house. Now it worked earlier. I hate when technology acts funny style. Texas versus Xavier going to be when it comes down to the wire. Yeah, I think that's going to be a nice one. Texas is a true blue. Only Texas basketball, Texas football, possibly, but Texas basketball, I don't think they're considered a blue blood. I think the definition of a blue blood was those historically successful college basketball teams over a period of time within a certain year timeline. I don't think Texas is in that group. I believe Indiana, UCLA, and UConn were the last added blue bloods, or they are the original blue bloods. Duke, Kentucky, Kansas, and North Carolina are the most well-known blue bloods these days. My man Jabari Brent. There's parity now in the NCAA, and that's why we see 16 getting beat by one. I mean, number one getting beat by 16. Excuse me. You got dudes that are 24 years old playing against dudes that are 18 going to the NBA the next year, playing AAU style. When you play AAU style, as the late great Kobe Bean Bryant said, you're messing up the integrity of the game. So you're going to get what you get. A 15 is going to get beat by 2. I believe from moving forward, you're going to see a 1 get beat by a 16 almost every year. Because the parity is in your face. Grown man strength is a real thing. All right, what we got here? So like I said, Longhorns have won 28 total conference championships in men's basketball and have made 35 total appearances in the NCAA tournament. That's awesome. But why do you think they're not considered a blue blood to most? NCAA championships, how many do they have? Suggs, do that research for me real quick. If they have 5 championships, I think they can be considered a blue blood if they got that many appearances. I think the case can be made, but if they don't have a lot of championships, that's kind of where it has to be kind of like obvious. They haven't won one, but still in the mix every year. Okay, so if they haven't won one, that's the criteria right there. So UCLA having 11 and UConn having 5 or whatever they have, Kentucky, Kansas, UConn, North Carolina, and it's gonna be a blue blood. What's a blue blood? Why is it called blue blood? All right, let's see if we can get this thing to work. Still don't want to work for me. All right, so hopefully your bracket's not destroyed to a point where you don't even enjoy the games anymore. There's still some good games to be watched, even if your bracket is busted. Shame on you for not picking Arizona to lose like myself. I'm supposed to pick Arizona to lose because they always let me down. You should always pick Virginia to lose or they're going to always let you down. Even the year they won the championship, just take that L. You got to put Virginia and Arizona to lose, especially when you're going against Princeton. 1996 UCLA Bruins, the year after winning the national championship game, lost to Princeton on the backdoor cut all night long. They're scrappy. They're smart. They're smarter than your guys. You think Miami has a chance over Houston? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. If Phi Slamma Jamma can lose when they had Clyde Drexler and Hakeem Olajuwon and they were undeniably the best team in the country and they lost. I believe that was the NC State and Jim Valvano's team. Miami has dudes. So when Miami has a group of dudes like they have this year, understand they're going to be super athletic, have great defense, and all you need is a couple guys that can put the ball in the hole. So there is, you figure a college basketball game can be mucked up. Remember when Duke beat UNLV 1991? There's no way that anybody saw that coming. It was the same team that played the previous year in the championship game that UNLV beat them by 25. Only difference was Grant Hill. And Duke beat UNLV. I remember like it was yesterday. I was at a track meet. We couldn't see the game. We had to get warmed up for the race or whatever. You had the 4x4 or something like that. And all we saw was the score, or we heard the score on the radio. This is before the cell phones. 1991, I believe it was 91 or 92. I can't remember. But I remember listening to the radio and listening to UNLV lose, and I immediately thought, man, it's got to be a fix. You saw how good UNLV was with Larry Johnson, Anderson Hunt, Stacey Augmon, George Ackles, Greg Anthony, Moses Scurry. What? That UNLV team beat the LMU, the great LMU Lions with Hank Gathers, That team was unbeatable, but they lost. So anything's possible, man. Anything's possible. Miami has a chance. Trust me. Dr. Adger in the house. I've never heard of FDU Knights till they put the triple team lock on Iggy. Nobody did. Nobody did, Adger. That's why it's madness, man. It's straight madness. Christian Leitner was already on the team the previous year, and he took that whooping. Grant Hill was the difference. I believe Christian Leitner was already on the team the previous year, and we all were happy that he took that L. Now, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I'm believing my memory serves me correctly, but I have had some concussions. Tell them 6. I had 6 concussions playing football, so I'm a little bit, my memory's not the best. But Christian Leitner, the most hated probably college basketball player ever, was on that team, and we love watching them lose. I believe the previous years when Leitner hit that buzzer beater, or was it that same year when they beat Kentucky on the court, the full court pass? Those are some good days, man. Those are some good times. Good time to be alive watching some basketball. All right, so let me see. Is there any way that I can get my phone to work as my media player? If not, it won't be as fun. I actually have footage. I just need this phone to play through my media, and it's not working once again. But it worked previously in my run through. That's what's crazy about it. So I'm trying to see if I can fix this technology. Let me see if I can close some programs and maybe free up some stuff. I can close that. I'm gonna work through some technology right now. Google Chrome takes up a lot of space. I don't need Chrome at the moment, I don't think. Messages can be closed. Force quit my Photoshop. Force quit. See, what happened was I had a lot. My computer was so much faster. My previous computer was so much faster. It can handle every program at the same time. This one I gotta close everything. And this is the problem when you're a predator, being a producer, editor, writer. You gotta do all your own production, which I welcome. I like doing it. Leitner was on the 91 and 92 team. Fat check. Appreciate you. It's your boy Brent. Number 3, Long Beach Poly, strong safety. 1990, 1991. Wasn't our best years at Long Beach Poly, but we had some good times. Lifelong friends, represent the green and gold to our fullest. We just had a really small line and couldn't get it done. All right, so moving forward, hope your bracket's not too busted up. NFL free agency. So you think about it, Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets and Lamar Jackson being a non-exclusive franchise tag. Jimmy G going to the Raiders. Derek Carr going to the Niners. Wouldn't it be scary if the 49ers got Lamar Jackson for a 3 to 5 year project to see Lamar Jackson, CMC, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle? That would be downright scary. Him being injured the last 2 years will probably stop that from happening. But wouldn't that be scary? I'm an Eagles fan, and I know how dangerous Jalen Hurts is, and I appreciate Howie Roseman and the Eagles brain trust putting in the effort to free up money to pay to pay Jalen Hurts, so we don't have this same problem See, the difference is Jalen Hurts is a second round pick. So there's not the same restrictions and urgency that the Ravens have with Lamar Jackson. I believe Lamar was like the last pick in the draft in the first round. But now they got to deal with that. They don't believe that there's anyone out there that's going to give Lamar $200 million guaranteed. Yeah, I'm saying Lamar and McCaffrey in the backfield will be, I said CMC. Christian McCaffrey. Double whammy. But nobody's calling. Is it because Lamar doesn't have an agent? Is it because the owners have colluded together that no one's going to get $200 million after Deshaun Watson got his $230 million? Or was it $240 million? So Deshaun Watson's deal is an anomaly. I think that is messing up Lamar Jackson's money. But Lamar Jackson needs to say, I know you guys don't want to do the Deshaun Watson thing, but the Kyler Murray, the Dak Prescott, I'm better than those guys. I'm the league MVP. I'm on the cover of Madden. I put butts in the seats. I'm on TV. I'm one of the faces of the league. He deserves to be paid top 5. Sadly, he won't be. So he shouldn't play. If you're Lamar Jackson and they're giving you that deal and you've done so many great things for the city of Baltimore, you brought so much happiness to the people. You've helped my fantasy football team tremendously, scoring the highest amount of points possible every time you're on the field. Now, staying on the field is the only problem, is just staying healthy. Them rounds matter, man, like Adra said. So, being a first round pick, they got to pay that man. And as a person representing himself, he has to go by market value. There's no one speaking on his behalf all the time. It's just him, which is difficult. I've been hearing a bunch regarding Lamar and Titans and Tannehill trade because Tannehill only has 2 years left and fairly cheap and not bad quarterback without injury. Derrick Henry, as if they keep him also. Now, I heard Derrick Henry was on the chopping block, on the trade block. I'm like, are the Titans crazy? I know running backs' shelf life is short. But if you have a face of the league like Derrick Henry in your backfield, this could be as disastrous as the Cowboys trading Herschel Walker to the Vikings. I don't think they should do that, but I'm not a GM. Jay Adger said, super teams in the NFL remember Ray Lewis. Ravens defense was a nightmare. I don't think the Ravens defense is good enough to rely on Snoop at quarterback. And I believe him making the Pro Bowl makes the Ravens believe they have the leverage to act like that. Like they got somebody. We don't need you. So I think they might want to rethink what they're doing right now because they're making Lamar Jackson not want to play. I wouldn't play for the Ravens if they would pay me. Imagine Henry and Lamar and draft O-line and a receiver. They could be the contenders in that quick, overnight. If you had to stop Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson, you don't even have to throw the ball. You need to just throw the ball once in a blue moon and keep the defense honest. You got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. That's a nightmare for a defensive coordinator. How do you stop that run? If they run the RPO, because Lamar can still throw the ball to the tight end. They have a very good tight end in Baltimore. Get one good receiver, pick up one veteran lineman, draft one great offensive lineman, and have decent defense. They always have good defense under Harbaugh. Eagles was a super team. They had Sue in the middle. Well, the Eagles we defend. I'm saying we because it's my favorite team. Defensively, we were hiding behind the D line. We were able to get by having a great pass rush, good run defense. Our pass defense was overrated because our defensive ends had quarterbacks on skates. So if you have that type of defense, yeah, it feels like a super team when you have a Dominican Sue third string. So we had a great D-line. We lost a couple. We got Cox back. Lost Hargrave. But that's how it is. It's business. If the Titans got Lamar Jackson and have Derrick Henry, like John Suggs says, it would be the Eagles 2.0. It'd be dangerous day one. Now, Aaron going to the Jets, it's a rental. If I'm the Jets, I'm trying to get Lamar Jackson. Again, all those young receivers, that great defense, Lamar Jackson makes you a contender right now. The Niners and the Jets with Lamar Jackson. The Titans with Lamar Jackson. See, Aaron Rodgers, they keep saying because he was an MVP 2 years ago that he still got it. I don't know if he's worth the headache. And he's not worth it to me. I think it's too much of a headache. Because he's going to go in the dark room again. He's going to hold your franchise hostage saying I might retire, might not retire. But the Jets are dead set on getting Aaron Rodgers. So we'll see what happens. I don't think, even if they get Aaron Rodgers, look at who they have to play against in the AFC East. In the AFC period, the Jets ain't winning in the AFC. They got to go through the Chiefs, the Bills, the Ravens. Now, Garoppolo going to Vegas, I think that's like, somebody said it was like having a $10 bill and somebody giving you 2 5s. You still got $10. Not to say, man. Not to say. Juju signed with the Pats, so that just means more jackrabbits on the Patriots. Juju's on the last part of his career. God bless him. That's our guy from Long Beach Poly. And you still have Jack Jones up there, who's almost rookie of the year behind Sauce Gardner. But Juju and Jack Jones will be fun to watch. Still, Patriots are far away from becoming who they used to be. A defense against Lamar and Henry. Wowzer, that's a big business decision you have to make, and nightmare for opposing D coordinator. What do you take away? If you don't hit Derrick Henry before he gets downhill, DB's getting trucked. And if you don't have DBs spying Lamar, he's going to be in the open field making him look silly. And then he might pull it and drop back three steps and throw it. Juju 3 years, $33 million, $11 million a year. It's going to have some guys come out of retirement and say, if Juju can get paid, who else can get paid? Rudy, the champ, Cambero, in-house. St. Anthony, recruiting coordinator, O-line coach extraordinaire. Juice Biggs, enthusiast, coach, director, in the house. Tomorrow night, prospective St. Anthony Saints and kids who want to get out, kids who want to play high school football and not sit the bench. We have a parent meeting tomorrow night at the SA. Tomorrow night, I believe it's at 6 p.m. Rudy, let's put that out there. I'll blast it on my social media if I keep forgetting to, but I can't forget. We need dudes. My nephew's still here. My son got out thanks to God-given ability and guys like Rudy who knows everybody in the world. If your son needs some exposure, we got an opportunity for him. Trying to get y'all to realize you can't make the club in the tub. You can't get a ride on the side. You have to be in the game. You have to be coached up. You have to have the technique on top of the skills and the eye test. Come check us out, man. We're going to teach. We're not going to fuss. We're going to teach. We're going to push you. But you need that in today's game. A lot of guys is real soft. It's a soft generation. We got to get that out of them. We came from a time where you got cussed out. Tell them, Andrew. Tell them, Brent. We got cussed out. It made us tougher. Put hair on our chest. Oh, my man, big time in the house. What's going on? Big time Douglas Brooks Jr. the third. My guy. Reese said, why not St. Anthony's? Why not? If you a baller, it doesn't really matter where you at. I got Miguel Lauer in the house. Coach Lauer's big brother. Younger brother, but he's bigger. Who's older? Miguel? I think you're younger, right? Age before beauty. Miguel on the road getting it done with the 25-inch pythons. Or am I shortening? Is he 29-inch pythons like Hulk Hogan? 27-inch pythons, brother. Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. Garoppolo to the Raiders. It ain't moving the needle for me. What will move the needle for me is Lamar Jackson going to one of these franchises. Derek Carr to the Saints. Yeah, they'll be better. They'll be pretty good. Still got to beat them Chiefs. Still got to beat them Eagles. Now the Cowboys are making some moves. Miguel Lauer will be happy to hear me say. Bringing in Stephon Gilmore, that's a big move. Now you got two #1 corners. The problem is getting Dak Prescott to perform in the playoffs. Dak Prescott ain't Jalen Hurts. He said he's cuter. How a big old 6'2", 205-pound, 3% fat diesel of a guy said he's cuter. I can't even put my mouth around it like saying my name is delicious. Running those poly prize, Papa Don blowing the whistle. Man, ain't try to run no poly prize, bro. The Lions offseason. Well, you lost Williams, your heart and soul. But the Lions are on the I mean, we watched them on Hard Knocks, man. I like the Lions. I like Amon-Ra St. Brown. All the St. Browns have the coolest names in football. Jared Goff is not trash. In a good environment, he's pretty good. They went to the Super Bowl, not for nothing. So the Lions going to compete this year. Still far away from a Super Bowl contender, but they're going to be good. Not your daddy's Lions. Not Barry Sanders' Lions, not Megatron's Lions. These Lions are going to bite your ankles and bite your kneecaps. Bequan Zito said all the quarterback movement isn't impressive at all. At all. You want to impress me? Put Lamar Jackson in the backfield with Derrick Henry. Now we got some action. Put Lamar Jackson in the backfield with Christian McCaffrey. Now we got some action. Now I'm scared. Put Lamar Jackson on the Miami Dolphins with Waddle and Hill. Ooh, they got a 4x100 meter track team right there. Gotta be kidding me, man. Miguel said Dak got to go. Not a fan of Dak? Jerry Jones paid that man all that money? Jerry expects return on his investment. He expects it. He expects it. I'm so upset my technology is not working. I had some goodies, some goodies to share, but I cannot because my technology is acting funny style. We'll move on. My tender love report. Let's cue up the track. It's time. Where is my tender love? Here we go. All right, my tender love report. Anything that I think I've seen that is soft. I love Gervonta Davis. But his upcoming fight versus Ryan Garcia. Gervonta Davis's camp requested a hydration stipulation. Let's see if I can find the details. April 22nd. That is next month in about 4 weeks. These two titans of the I want to say lightweight division will square off at 136 pounds. I don't remember when I was 136 pounds. I don't remember. Is that how much we weighed for Pee Wee football? I can't remember. All right, so Garcia is 23-0, 19 knockouts. Fighting Gervonta Davis in a 10-round championship fight. Davis has placed a 10-pound rehydration clause in their deal. Meaning, if the day of the fight, Ryan Garcia comes in at 146 and a half, the fight is off. Or it won't be for the belt. It'll be a non-championship fight. It'll just be two dudes fighting. And the reasoning is Garcia walks around at 170 pounds. He's a bigger dude. So it's not too out of the realm of reason to say, man, you can't come in here weighing 185 pounds. So you got to come in here at 146. Because in boxing, you slam down for the weigh-in, and the next day you chow down on some red meat and some potatoes and get your strength back if you're a bigger dude trying to fight down. I believe Gervonta Davis walks around at 140. So he only has to lose like 5 pounds, whereas Garcia has to lose somewhat almost 20 pounds to make weight, which is not uncommon for a boxer. They do it all the time. But I still think it's kind of soft. Fight the man. You picked up the fight. Fight the man. Whatever he weighs in the next day, so what? Fight him. In the UFC back in the day, Royce Gracie was fighting dudes 225 pounds, and he was 190 pounds. You got the skills. Don't be soft. Don't be tender love on us. Don't be tender love us on the Gervonta Davis. We love you, Tank Davis. I am not sleeping on Ryan Garcia. That's why I don't think Tank is sleeping on him either. That's why Tank said, you got to come in here at 146, bro. You can't come in here looking like Roy Jones Jr. at 175. So I'm mad, but at the same time, I'm not mad. When you were 14 years old, you weighed 135, Mike. Davis gets the knockout in late rounds. Garcia will dominate in the early rounds. He's a longer fighter, so his jab should be the determining factor on who dominates the fight early. I'm not sure how long both of these fighters have gone. How many, tough, long matches have they had apiece? Not sleeping on Garcia, but I just saw when Devontae knocked out, I forgot the kid's name, the one that talked a lot of trash. I think his name was something silly, really, or something like that. When he knocked him out, knocked him cold, I was a believer that left hook is like mini Mike Tyson left hook. It's dangerous. They call him Tank for a reason, even though he's 135 pounds. Them hammers feel a bit solid by the pound, but Tank got the IQ. I think they're both well-coached fighters, very technically sound fighters. And the more and more I box at our boxing gym around the corner at the Canyon Nation with Coach Brandon Adams and Coach Cam, I'm learning more about leverage, more about twisting my punches. And the technically sound fighters, they put more on their punches when their core is solid. That's why it's so important for that core. I was to my son's coach, Coach G at St. Anthony's, core tight. All my jackrabbits know Coach Washington. That core tightness creates power behind those punches. You ain't got to be the strongest dude up top. But if that core is solid and you have a quick, fast twitch about you, those punches can be really deadly. And that's what you're going to see out of Davis and Garcia on April 22nd. So I can't wait, man. It's going to be a good fight. Just tender. It was a little bit tender around the edges with that stipulation. But you got to, it's a gamesmanship. It's gamesmanship. UNC. Garcia. All right, we got some predictions. John Suggs says Garcia is going to win in a third round knockout. Wow. Davis' toughest fight by far, in my opinion, was Isaac Cruz. Is Isaac Cruz better than Garcia? Core tight. Michelle, what's going on? Go Bruins. Bring it home, number 12. I got the Bruins winning the whole thing. It's a lofty request, but I think we can do it with Kansas being out. If Ryan tries to fight him like Pitbull Cruz did, he getting slept. He don't have a chin like Pitbull. Well, if he ain't got a chin like Pitbull, it's going to be a quick one. Because that's what we're going for, a chin. You figure a shorter guy versus a taller guy, it's sweet chin music. It's sweet chin music, body music. Garcia, I'm pretty sure he's sparring with guys that are tank size. And that's what, professionals do. They prepare. We keep the force MDs going because we're still tender. North Carolina declined to play in the NIT. All season, our focus and goal, they were number one, preseason number one. They brought back all their players. All season, our focus and goal have been on being the best team we can possibly become and reaching our full potential to give us an opportunity to compete, play for, and win an NCAA championship. Though we no longer have that opportunity, this season wasn't what we had hoped for. I want to thank the players and staff for their hard work and love for Carolina basketball. This is a blue blood, guys. Many factors go into postseason play, and we believe now is the time to focus on moving forward, moving ahead, preparing for next season and the opportunity to compete for the ACC and the NCAA championships. I also want to thank our great fans for their incredible support. Our commitment to you is what drives us to improve our program in every way. Soft, man. Your pride. Why you... Let them kids play in the NIT. Let them face the embarrassment of playing in the NIT. Everybody does it. Get in the NIT and let them guys play some more. Our goal was an NCAA championship, and you don't make the tournament with the same starting five you had last year. Come on, man. Come on, man. John says, nothing wrong with not going to the NIT. As a UNC fan, what's the point? I want every one of them off. I want every one of them off the team. Let me ask you, would you draft any of the starting five this year? Leaky Black is an NBA player. Love is an NBA player. And Big Man is an NBA player. I forget his name. Oh boy with the overbite. They got dudes. They may not make the team, but they'll probably get drafted and be in the G League. If you take them back to last year's tournament, playing 5 dudes, maybe 6 last year, those dudes look like dogs. They played hard. This year, not so much. That goes back to Hubert. That's on Hubert. Wearing them guys out. They got dudes, man. I say play. Perfect your craft. Hoopers hoop. Let it be a learning experience. We don't want to be back here again. Let's win the NIT. Let's get out of here. And next year, we want to be a competitor for the NCAA championship.